When most people picture a python, they imagine a giant serpent sliding through tropical forests, silent and untamed. But in parts of southern China, these massive reptiles are no longer just wild icons. They're part of a booming agricultural system that works very differently from anything most Americans have seen. Here, pythons are raised, fed, harvested, and processed with a level of scale and precision that rivals major livestock industries. On the outskirts of small towns, long warehouse-style barns replace open pastures. Instead of cattle or chickens, rows of stacked enclosures hold thousands of coiled bodies, each snake resting in a warm, controlled environment. For local farmers, these reptiles are not monsters or myths. They're inventory, assets, and a carefully managed source of income. In this world, a single farm can raise tens of thousands of pythons, each kept in conditions that simulate the hot and humid climate of Southeast Asia. Inside the processing facilities, skilled workers can handle up to 2,000 pythons in a single night, turning their skins into premium leather and their meat into high-value protein products. This is an industry built on biology, craftsmanship, and economic opportunity, but it also raises questions about sustainability, ethics, and efficiency. Today, we're taking you inside this surprising industry, following the python's journey from hatchling to harvest, and discovering how China transformed a cold-blooded predator into a profitable farm animal. As we explore each step, breeding, feeding, handling, and processing, you'll see a system that blends tradition, manual skill, and industrial order in ways few people ever witness, far beyond what a restaurant menu or a luxury storefront can show. Before we dive deeper, tell me this. Based on what you've heard so far, would you support python farming as part of modern agriculture? Comment 1 for yes or 0 for no, and don't forget to subscribe too so you never miss our deep dive stories into the world's most extraordinary farming systems. On large farms in China, breeding cycles are planned months in advance so that each season has a predictable number of healthy offspring. Females typically reach reproductive age around 3 years old, and when kept in ideal conditions, each can lay between 20 and 50 eggs. Since a female represents a long-term productive force, farmers closely monitor her weight, feeding response, and general condition. When breeding season arrives, the temperature and lighting inside the enclosure are adjusted to mimic natural seasonal changes. These environmental cues help to stimulate mating behavior, even though the pythons are kept far from the wild habitats in which their early instincts were developed. After mating, the female is kept in a warm, quiet enclosure until she lays her eggs. Workers carefully collect the eggs and transfer them to specialized incubators rather than leaving them with the mother. This method protects the clutch from stress, temperature changes, and infection. Inside the incubator, the temperature is maintained at nearly 86 degrees Fahrenheit, about 29 degrees Celsius. With humidity around 85%, sensors monitor each incubation, and technicians perform periodic checks to detect dents, discoloration, or early signs of damage. Incubation lasts about 60 to 70 days. In the final week, farm staff prepare for one of the most delicate steps in python farming, assisting the fragile hatchlings. Using a precision blade, they make small incisions in the shell to help the late-developing hatchlings emerge. The goal is not to speed up the process, but to prevent healthy embryos from dying simply because they don't have the strength to emerge. When the hatchlings finally emerge from their eggs, they are cleaned, weighed, and placed in incubators that are heated to a consistent temperature. Although they are no larger than the palm of your hand at this stage, their growth potential is enormous. In just a few short years, these little snakes will reach commercial size, and their growth will depend heavily on the next stage: proper nutrition, housing, and daily care. Once the hatchlings leave the incubators, python farming transitions into a slow but carefully controlled growth phase. Because these reptiles burn energy slowly and move very little, their housing focuses on warmth, humidity, and consistency rather than open space. In large Chinese farms, long warehouse-style barns hold stacked rows of plastic or fiberglass enclosures, each designed to create a calm, stable microenvironment for the young snakes. Temperatures inside the barns stay between 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, while humidity is kept high enough to support smooth shedding. Enclosures are disinfected regularly, to prevent bacteria or parasites from spreading through thousands of animals. Since pythons are solitary by nature, they are usually housed one per enclosure to avoid stress or accidental injuries that could impact future leather quality. Feeding is done on a strict schedule. Because pythons eat only once every 7 to 10 days, each meal must be nutritionally dense. Overfeeding can lead to thick or stretched skin, while underfeeding slows growth and reduces final yield. Farmers track weight gain carefully to plan predictable harvest times. The handler approaches the python with careful, steady movements. Even simple tasks such as opening the enclosure, placing food, or checking humidity require patience. Sudden movements can trigger defensive reactions or prolonged stress, causing the python to refuse food or shed improperly. Many workers develop a practiced rhythm that helps maintain smooth and efficient interaction. Daily inspections focus on the skin. A clean, complete shed signals good hydration and proper husbandry. Patchy or stuck sheds alert workers to issues with humidity or health. Because python leather is valued partly for its symmetry and smooth texture, any imperfections must be addressed immediately. Ventilation, lighting, and temperature systems are adjusted throughout the day to maintain stability. Years of controlled feeding and environmental management prepare them for the next step, harvesting and skin processing, where the quality built through careful husbandry becomes the foundation for high-value leather products. When tren reach 30 to 60 pounds, they enter the harvesting stage, where careful handling matters more than speed. Because the skin is the most valuable product, farms rely on trained workers rather than machines. A single mistake, an uneven cut, or a torn scale row can reduce the skin's value significantly. The process begins with selecting trun that have recently completed a clean shed. Freshly shed skin shows brighter color and smoother scale alignment, which tanneries prefer. Workers then move the animals into quiet processing rooms designed to keep stress low. Calm surroundings make the trun easier to control and help protect the skin from accidental damage. Once restrained, the worker makes a precise incision along the underside. The knives used are thin, flexible, and extremely sharp, allowing cuts that follow the natural line between the scales. The goal is to open the skin cleanly and remove it in one continuous sheet. Peeling is done slowly and mostly by hand, since manual pressure offers better control than tools. After separation, the skin is rinsed and inspected. Any small defects are marked so the tannery can adjust how it treats that area. The skin is then stretched flat and salted to prevent bacteria and moisture damage. Maintaining stable temperature and humidity in the workshop is essential. Fluctuations can cause curling or stiffening, reducing the final quality. There, they enter a controlled series of baths that stabilize the collagen structure while protecting the natural shine of the scales. Technicians monitor exposure times carefully, adjusting the process based on the thickness, size, and pattern of each skin. The goal is to keep the scale rows aligned and the leather flexible enough for high-end manufacturing. When the tanning process is complete, the skins are ready for fashion producers. Tren leather is prized for its distinctive texture and durability, and much of it ends up in premium belts, handbags, wallets, and footwear. The value of these products reflects the careful manual work carried out in the harvesting rooms, where every motion is designed to protect the natural beauty of the skin. After the skin is removed in the workshop, the carcass of the tren is moved straight into the meat processing area. Here, the focus shifts from protecting the skin to keeping the meat clean, safe, and visually appealing. Tren meat is firm, lean, and high in protein, so its value depends heavily on how it is handled in these first few minutes. Workers begin by rinsing each carcass to wash away any residue from the skinning stage. Clean stainless steel tables in chilled rooms help maintain freshness while butchers work. Because tren vary in length and thickness, there is no fixed cutting pattern. Instead, experienced workers follow the natural muscle lines, separating the long central fillets with steady, controlled strokes. These fillets are the most valuable cuts. Their even thickness and mild flavor make them suitable for high-end restaurants that feature specialty proteins. Smaller sections are trimmed and sorted for different uses, such as stir-fries, soups, or pre-portioned packs for retail markets. Connective tissue and rough edges are removed so the final pieces look uniform and cook evenly. Throughout the workflow, temperature is carefully controlled. The meat is kept in cool conditions to slow bacterial growth and preserve its pale, clean color. Each cut is checked for bruising or irregular texture. Anything that fails inspection is taken out of the line. This attention to detail helps maintain trust with buyers who expect consistent quality from every shipment. By combining careful butchering, strict hygiene, and controlled storage, the meat section turns what remains after skin harvesting into a stable, marketable food product. This step completes the practical side of processing and plays a key role in making trend farming profitable, alongside the more famous luxury leather trade. Across the entire production chain, modern trend farming in southern China shows how a highly specialized industry can develop around a single species. What begins with controlled breeding and precisely managed incubation evolves into years of careful feeding, monitoring, and environmental control. By the time the trend reach harvest size, every detail from temperature to humidity to diet has shaped the quality of both the meat and the skin. For many farming communities, this industry provides stable income where traditional livestock is difficult to raise. The work is intensive, but it supports a wide network of jobs: breeders, caretakers, processing workers, and tannery technicians. Each role depends on the others, creating a chain where timing, skill, and consistency matter as much as the animals themselves. Even as technology grows across agriculture, handling trends still requires a level of manual attention that machines cannot easily replace. However, the system also brings challenges. Maintaining warm barns year-round requires steady energy use, and large numbers of animals generate waste that must be managed responsibly. Reptiles express stress differently from mammals, and their quiet behavior can make it harder to evaluate welfare without specialized knowledge. As the industry expands, clearer standards and better oversight will likely become increasingly important. The meat supports regional food markets, while the skin feeds an international leather trade that values natural patterns and craftsmanship. The combination of rural labor, traditional techniques, and global demand has allowed the industry to grow into a notable agricultural sector. In the broader picture, trend farming illustrates how agriculture adapts to new markets and new resources. It blends biology with commerce and requires a balance between efficiency and responsibility. Whether viewed from an economic or ethical angle, it offers a look at how farming continues to evolve in places where innovation and necessity meet.